The Gen Z, Generation Z generation is the loneliest generation of all time, basically. And this is to do with a number of factors regarding our online presence, as we're probably the most digitally connected generation so far. Gen Alpha after us, and there's those iPad kids. I don't even want to know what's coming next. But why is it that we are um, the loneliest generation, right? Why is that? So I want to share some thoughts as to why I think that is, and go over some stats and go over some things within the culture of our generation. So the first thing is that despite us having so much access to the internet and exposed to it at a very young age, like we were there when it was in its prime. I mean, this generation was literally at the forefront of Facebook coming up, MySpace, Instagram, TikTok, Musically, all those different social platforms, and we were exposed to it very young, maybe in high school or even before that, right? So we're pretty digitally connected. The issue is that we can't share everything about our lives, and obviously we don't really want to. Some things are private, some things are we're not really, fond of sharing that with any person on the internet, right? So it kind of creates this environment where we're only sharing the good moments. We only want people to see the good moments. Everything's happy, yay, happy, smiling. But in reality, that is not ever the case, right? There's always something going on, positive or negative. Your life could be extremely good one day and absolute shit the next day, right? And so this kind of creates an environment where we always are feeding other people like a sort of like dopamine, right? We kind of get this effect from other people that, oh my god, they are so motivated, they're successful. I want to be like that. There's also the opposite of that, where it's like, oh my god, I'm so behind. I'm so lonely now. I'm feel like such a failure because of this, right? And that's kind of the imposter syndrome of it. But the dopamine also comes just by simply interacting on them. Like, right, you don't have to have this sort of ego or presence on social media, but if you go and view it, you kind of become addicted to it, maybe, and that kind of leaves this sort of like gap in interaction, right? Why would I, go somewhere else to go meet somebody when I have social media? I can hop on a Discord call or something, right? So not or always consistently being online in this case is basically like somebody doesn't really know you, like they don't truly get to know you, right? If I go meet somebody in person versus they only know me and have seen me through pictures and videos online, I'm probably going to be maybe somewhat different. I might look different, I might act different depending on how this person is speaking to me or what they want to talk about, right? Those are like personal values and choices that I have. But yeah, just a small graphic, like Gen Z is pretty lonely. This end sample is pretty small. I would say you can't get everyone to answer on this, but I think this reflects a truly genuine trend that we're starting to see. Another thing is that our generation has a really big ego, and we basically have nothing to show for it. I mean, there's a handful of big entrepreneurs that are Gen Z. They get big on AI, or they get big doing something else. But in general, I think among most average people in our generation in their 20s, I would say. We have a bullshit presence on social media, and I try to keep it as authentic as I can on here, and I think I do a pretty good job at doing that. But for the most part, other people are kind of like this. I'm going to post everything that's good, but my life is actually shit. And why is that? Well, for a number of reasons. You want to make other people seem that you are better than you actually are, so that you can make a living off it. That's our gurus, and those are the people that sell courses. And two is that you want to have a big ego, so people will respect you and don't think you are not a failure. So it's kind of like the proving sort of thing, showing you that I'm actually doing good, but in reality I'm not. It's kind of like that whole thing where it's somebody who is extremely use like Robin Hood example, like somebody who is like extremely poor could spend whatever money that they want to sell you a course to rent a Lambo and so show you that, oh, I'm actually doing pretty good in life, and this is why you should buy this course, right? But in reality, you're not, and so it kind of creates God, my nose is itchy, man. Sort of like two waves of or two sides of the coin for, I guess, imposter syndrome is like, oh my gosh, I am so behind. I'm failing. What can I do? This is stressing me out. Versus motivating the generation to actually do better, right? But I think it's the latter. I think it only really creates imposter syndrome and like the negative connotation of that. So yeah, you see like this guy. He's like, why are people always not trying to flex on me on social media? That's basically all social media has become. I think it's like split in half. Second thing is coexistence, right? What do I mean by coexistence? So in any generation before us that did not have phones or was not as digitally connected. For instance, they were on MySpace, right? MySpace wasn't really that good, and you typically didn't, go in person and meet somebody or have all these likes and all these like dopamine effects from being on MySpace. It was just, hey, this is a chat room. I'm gonna talk to people. This guy's cool. Wow, nice. Um, they would go in person to places. I can't remember the last time I saw like a group of, I don't know, high schoolers, middle schoolers, whatever it is, at least where I'm from, like go to the mall, right? Go walk around the mall, go buy something there, right? I feel like malls are really like going out of business right now. Now, this is an example of being in third party spaces, and third party spaces where you coexist is kind of like that's outside of work, that's outside of school, no, I guess like outside of home, right? Your parents or whatever, your family. It's like those are different areas where you go and meet people. And previous generations basically had to do that no matter what, right? They didn't have the phone. They couldn't order something online. They couldn't, do their job remotely because computers weren't that good back then, right? And so every single area in space where we were interacting with people and doing something has been replaced by like one of these sort of factors. It's like, I'll give you an example. Like, oh, I have this friend that lives in Tennessee. I should go up to see him. Oh wait, no, I have him on Instagram. I can just text him or something like that. Okay. Um, I'm kind of hungry tonight. Let me cook something, or let me go drive somewhere to go eat. No, I just have somebody who I don't even know who they are deliver it for me. All right. Um, Man, I should really get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Man, I should maybe go to a bar, or maybe I should go to a restaurant, or whatever it may be, wherever you go. Oh, I can just swipe and demean people on a dating app. And the examples carry on, right? The fact of the matter is, we don't go into these spaces as much as we should. And because we are so secure in an online environment, we don't feel the need to want to go to a third party area to go interact with people. Besides, when we basically have to, whether that's outside of those third party areas, which is work, school, I don't know, when you're driving, when you see, this person on the side of the road or somebody that's driving, hey, police officer, whatever it may be, we kind of avoid these spaces, and it's really bad, obviously. And so, kind of want to end this with, because we are so online, what are we scared about, really? And you might not think, oh, I'm not scared online. Well, I tend to think a lot of people are scared online because one, we had this whole big thing with cancel culture, right? And then COVID happened, everyone's online, everyone's more connected, and people are tend to be scared of cancel culture. What if I don't do the right thing? Because we're not really caring about so much what we do in person. Heck, we're not even outside half the time, we're not even interacting. So now this kind of shift towards how people view you in person doesn't really matter as much. It's more so, how do I look online, because that translates directly to what my real life is like in person, right? So this sort of like scared, like being scared of being authentic, being scared of saying the wrong thing, or sharing goals, or looking stupid and stuff. The general mindset for the average person in the generation is essentially like, I should be scared of all of this because something could go wrong, and if my social presence online is extremely bad, well, I got jack shit to show for it in person, right? That's kind of like the mentality. So, and you tend to be ironic, you tend to be detached from reality, and then you're kind of just online chronically, waiting for the next thing. And I think this kind of shows with like people not wanting to communicate as much in this generation and just tending to be lonely or not saying anything. Those is like the Gen Z stare, right? It's like not wanting to say what is completely obvious. So you just kind of just like look at it and like, bro, come on, right? So you tend to hide like how much life really sucks sometimes, in order to, I guess, like keep yourself safe, right? And yeah, that's today's video. Just something I wanted to talk about. I think this generation, our generation, is pretty lonely, but I want to encourage you to go out, meet some people, find some friends, find people that can help you. And yeah, that's all.